I mentioned tracking down a smartphone shop, and that leads into the other big topic that is on my mind. Topic number one, of course, is the lockdown situation, which I'm out here to sort of explore and see if the city feels any different because of that. And the other big topic on my mind, perhaps it's always on my mind, is technology, because recently I've struggled with editing video on my phones. It seemed to be going okay for a while, but then the app that I was using seemed to stop working, so I switched to a different app, the KineMaster Android app, which I love, actually. I really love the interface, but it restricts me to 720p video on my particular phones because they're low-end phones and they're a few years old now, so they can't really handle high-resolution video. At least KineMaster cannot handle high-res video on my phones. So I was looking for a solution. I've been, of course, always looking for a new laptop, but I still haven't gotten to the point where I found one that I like enough where I'm willing to spend that much money, at least not right now. And I was looking into tablets for a while, and a tablet seemed like a very good option. I'm still not dismissing that as an option, mainly because I've never had a tablet either. And it might be fun to get a tablet. Like, instead of buying a new phone, why not just get a tablet instead? But there's an issue of whether a tablet is powerful enough to edit video or not. I really don't know whether the processor in a typical budget tablet is less or more powerful than the processor in a equivalent phone or even a laptop. I don't know. And most of the reviews that I've looked at online, they don't ever talk about video editing until you get up into the really high-end expensive models. The Samsung S7, I think it's called, that is used quite often to edit video, even 4K video. But those can be as much as $1,000. They creep up to the $1,000 mark, and that's way too expensive. You might as well just buy a laptop if you're spending that much money. And when you look at the low-end budget tablets, I was looking at the Samsung Tab 5 SE and the Tab 6S Lite, and they both seem like amazing tablets and good value. So they're a reasonable alternative to a new phone, I think. Maybe you get more bang for your buck with a tablet than you would with a smartphone. But they aren't usually used for video editing, so I've only found one YouTube review where they tested the 6S Lite. They test it as a video editing device, and they said it works amazing. They were even editing 4K video on the Tab S Lite. So, seemed promising, but as I said, that's the only review I've come across where they even talk about video editing. It never comes up. So I'm not absolutely confident that a tablet is the way to go. And the alternative that occurred to me is something like a mid-range Samsung phone. And there seem to be some very attractive options there, assuming you're willing to spend $200, $250, something like that. I was looking at the Galaxy A31, and it looks like quite a good value for that much money. And buying something like that, for me, can kind of kill two birds with one stone, maybe, because I would get a machine that can handle video editing better than my old phones, so that's good. But also my old phones, one of them is reaching the end of its useful life. The battery doesn't hold a charge anymore. And I've had some issues with it, other related issues. So it might be nice to replace that phone anyway. And it's a lot less money than buying a new laptop right now, and a lot more portable. And if I can edit video on a Galaxy A31, yeah, I'll do it. Why not? So that's what I've been thinking about in terms of big technology. Just another quick thought about the big technology picture: cell phones, tablets, and laptops. I got kind of serious about it because I noticed on the last video that I posted, the one from the nursery, it looked terrible because it's in, I guess because it's in 720p, it's very fuzzy with all the green leaves in the background. You can just see it's all pixelated and broken up, and it just looks terrible. I didn't think it was that bad before, but the 720p quality really doesn't cut it, which is why I started thinking about how can I fix this. And an obvious solution is just to use another application. So I've gone down that particular rabbit hole, and some of the really popular ones that people recommend, like Filmora Go, Adobe Premiere Rush, these, you know, apps that you can use for video editing on a phone. They look amazing, but my phones are so outdated, those apps won't even download to my phone. If you go to the Google Play Store using my phone, I mean, Google is smart enough to know the phone I'm using. So they say, as soon as I go there and I click on the link for Filmora Go, I just get this big sign that says, "Nuh-uh, no way, buddy. This program won't even operate on your phone, so forget about it." And something like some of the other ones don't even show up. They're not even listed when I go to the Google Play Store. I guess my phones. Funny thing is, when I bought them, I was pretty excited about these phones. I was stepping up into this high-tech world of fancy smartphones. And now I'm being told that they're so outdated that I can't even use them. We're all being outstripped by technology, it seems. Anyway, so I was looking for an app that I could run on my phone and still process 1080p video. And I'm not positive, but one option seems to be a program called InShot. So I downloaded that this morning, and I'm shooting all of this video in 1080p, and I'll see whether InShot can handle it or not. If not, I'll have to convert it to 720p. And I think that's where all of the pixelation comes from. I've also tried shooting 720p on my GoPro right from the beginning and using that video, but it seems to be exactly the same. But then in a weird twist, me and technology, it's nothing but weird twists. In a weird twist, I decided to try PowerDirector again, which was my very first program, which crashed recently and just stopped working. And this morning it was working again. But I was only testing it with 720p video, and that might be the difference. So once I transfer these video clips to my phone, I will test PowerDirector, see whether it's working again and able to handle 1080p. And if so, I'll just use PowerDirector. If not, I'll try to use InShot. And if not, then I get back to the big picture, which is buying a new phone, a new tablet, or new laptop, something like that. If it can edit video, the Samsung Galaxy A31 does seem to be a reasonable option. At the shop that I was checking out, they were selling it for 6,000 baht, which seems like quite a good price for a phone like that. And the version that they were selling was the high-end one that has 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of internal memory, and that would be nice because I run into a lot of memory restrictions on the phones that I'm using now. To get expanded memory would be nice. And of course, that's just memory, that's not the processor. But I have to assume that those processors are far better than the ones that are in my phone. So I'm sure they can edit video, at least 1080p. So yeah, I'm seriously thinking about just buying a new phone anyway. Whether I buy a new laptop or not, I might as well get a new smartphone, stay updated. When you fall behind with technology like this, it really starts to weigh on your life a lot. If you let it go on too long and you end up struggling all the time, nothing works anymore, and really you just need to update. Stay up to date if you can. I said that all this discussion around smartphones, tablets, and laptops was big technology discussion. That's because there's also small technology in my life. And this has to do, of course, with all the various gadgets and adapters and doodads that I always seem to be looking for to use with my GoPro and my other camera. And that search never seems to end one way or another. I made a video recently all about all the gear that I used with my GoPro, the whole history of all the adapters and grips that I've purchased. And one of the big stories from that history is how awkward it is to switch the GoPro from one mount to another, to go back and forth from a hand grip to a tripod to the JAWS clamp to the three-way, because the mounting systems are all different. And I've been on this hunt for some kind of a quick release system that I can use across all of them. And since I made that video, I discovered that one of my favorite companies, Ulanzi, actually makes one. It didn't exist months ago when I was doing, or even a year and a half or 2 years ago when I first bought the GoPro. They didn't make this thing, so I was not aware of it. I think it is called the GP4, and it is a magnetic twisting and locking quick release mechanism for the GoPro mount. So basically, if you buy this magnetic quick release system, you can mount it on anything. I can put it onto the three-way, onto a tripod, onto a JAWS, and then moving the GoPro from one to the other is as easy as twist and release. Put it in, twist. And it's completely universal across all of these devices. So, look pretty amazing. I'm sure there's some kind of a disadvantage to it, but I'm not aware of what it could be yet. Oh, this little dog came crawling out from under that water tank. I recently watched a movie called Love and Monsters, which is full of the most horrific insect-like and amphibian-like monsters crawling out of every crevice all around you, trying to kill you and eat you. So maybe I still have that in my mind when in the corner of my eye, I saw that dog crawling out from under there. Maybe I thought he was one of these Love and Monsters monsters. Anyway, he startled me. Anyway, I discovered this GP4 from Ulanzi, and it seems like a very interesting thing. I don't absolutely need it. This thing I've got going on now, right now, with the GoPro JAWS and an extension and this kind of thing. It's working pretty well. But if I ever come across this GP4 and I can buy it easily, I'll probably pick up 2 of them. The weird thing is it comes in a kit and you can't buy the units separately. So to get all the units I need, I actually have to buy 2 of the kits, and then I end up with 2 of something that I don't need in order to get 2 of the other things that I do need. But that's just the way it is. So that is where my technology adventures are for today. And check this place out. I believe this is brand new. I've never seen it before. Funny wash and dry. And there's their friendly logo. And all the signs and instructions for how to use the machines. More over there. Oh, let's go inside and check it out. Shoes have to come off. And look at that. We've got dryers. Oh. Kind of big industrial, commercial looking dryers. It's bigger than a home unit, I think. Looks like it costs 40 baht for the dryer. Though I don't see any controls for temperature. So I guess you just get one temperature and you get what you get. And check out these washers. How do they open? There we go. Ah, nice. These are the washers that I like, the ones that go around this way. I think they do a more reliable job. And these ones are made by LG. All kinds of controls there. I guess when you put your money in, this dial will do something, and feels very, very fragile though. This is definitely not going to survive long. Feels like it could just snap right off. I think for commercial use, you need something more durable than that. 30 baht for a 9 kilogram machine. And 40 baht for a 10.5 kilogram machine. And it looks like they have one more, a big one. 50 baht for, how big is this one? 14 kilograms. And they have change machines, so you can get, I assume, 10 baht coins. And they have a dispenser for soap as well. And this is nice, a sink. I've often been in laundromats and your hands get kind of soapy and dirty, and then you can't really rinse them off. And if they have a sink like this, it's a nice touch. And some chairs to, wow, look at that. They even have Wi-Fi for when you're here. And there you have it. Funny Wash and Dry. There's the outside of Funny Wash and Dry, and just for a frame of reference, it is pretty much directly across the road from Borderline Cafe. So it's a very convenient location.